Hey there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew Clarke, and today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new LAVAME Play. Now, if you're familiar with Lava and their guitars at all, they essentially make very modern all-in-one acoustic electric guitars. They have just come out with a whole new lineup of, I believe there's 3 different models, and this guy right here is their answer to essentially a beginner or early intermediate guitar. And it's essentially going to give you a lot of the very helpful features that their higher end range gives you, but for a much more reasonable price. All right, so let's take a quick look at all of the apps that you can access with this guitar. Now, first off, we've got a tuner, very handy, metronome, obviously very important. We've got effects, which I'm going to show you a little bit later. We've got a built-in recorder. This is great for just being able to quickly jot down any of your ideas or maybe track your practice or something like that. And then over here we have practice and learn. Both of those tools are great for helping you improve your skills. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. You've got live drums here. So instead of a metronome, if you want to try something a little bit more organic or a little bit more musical, there's a fully functioning live drum setup. You can loop different drum beats with different parts and stuff. Very, very cool. Then we've got create here. We've got leaderboard, music, which is, I believe, uploading your own music. There's even photos, updates, settings. The interface is very easy to navigate, and the whole touch screen is very smooth, a very nice experience. So because this guitar is designed more for new players, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of put some focus on the practice and learning tools. Sometimes it can be really nice to have everything you need right here on the guitar in one place, rather than having to go search around the internet to find what you want to learn. So we're back on the home screen here, and I'm just gonna scroll over and let's take a look at practice. We'll start there. And it gives us some options. So chord transition, strumming, arpeggio training, scale training, ear training, single note. So all of these things are just categories of things you can work on. Let's go into ear training here, because that's very important. And we'll just start on easy. It looks like it's going to tell us to be able to listen to, I'm assuming C, E, and D, and then we have to be able to name the note, presumably. Let's see. And turn this up. Okay.
Listen to the question note.
It's a C. Okay.
Play the note.
That sounds like a D. Yep. Sounds like we're going up to an E. Okay, now I'm going to mess this one up on purpose. Incorrect. There we go. Next, I want to jump over into the Learn app. It's a little different than the Practice app. So we'll go here, we'll jump into Skills. And it looks like there's some categories. So comping, technique, solo. We'll just go to new like this. Giving us a little example. That's just coming from the guitar. It's just being picked up by the mic in front of me here. So I'm going to keep going up. Turn it down a bit so I can talk over it, but it's giving you the tabs and the chord names for all of this stuff as it's being played. So you can obviously take this and you can learn it. And you can, let's just jump into one. If I were to hit play, jumps in and it allows you to kind of go through and you can start working on learning it yourself. I think both of these tools can be really cool, especially if you're going to sit down and practice. You don't really know what to work on. You can just jump in here and just kind of browse through, find some cool exercises or things that you can work on. Now I want to talk about some other apps that can be very helpful as well. So we'll go back to the home screen here. And that is obviously having a metronome is super important when it comes to your rhythm and developing your sense of timing. There's so many exercises that even I teach in my lesson videos where having a metronome handy is very, very useful. And it's nice to have one built right into the guitar. This one's pretty flexible. It gives you a bunch of different options. time signatures, subdivisions, all that. And then obviously you can change the actual tempo. And then also a recorder. So being able to record your progress is such an important part of improving on the guitar. I've said this before, but it's like when you hear someone else singing, you can tell if they're good or bad, but you yourself, when you're singing, sometimes you can't always tell. You'll sound good and then you'll record yourself or hear a recording and you'll be like, oh, I actually don't sound as good as I thought I did. It's the same thing with guitar, right? You might be playing something, it might sound really, really good to you when you're playing it, but then if you were listening from the outside, you'd notice, oh, I'm making all of these mistakes, but you didn't notice while you were doing it. Having a recorder is a really great way of being able to do that, all built in on the guitar. Obviously on top of that too, if you have cool chord progression ideas, you want to write songs and get into things like that, it's a great way to keep track of those ideas as well. Now this guitar is actually syncing up with my profile on the Lava Plus app, and as I practice and spend time playing the guitar, it's actually tracking my progress for me. So being able to actually see your habits, see how much time you're spending playing, it can be really, really helpful. On top of that, with that app, there are like community challenges to play a certain amount of time every single month. So if you're competitive at all, then you're definitely going to want to check that out. Now, I think it's very important to learn how to be creative very early on in your guitar journey. Rather than just reproducing what you hear or what you read on the tabs, our instrument is all about creating music, right? And this guitar gives you some really cool ways to explore that. So first, I'm just gonna throw on some effects here. There's a whole bunch that you can go through and check out: reverb, delay, chorus, and all different types of stuff. I'm just gonna go over here and I'm gonna throw some reverb on. There it is. If I turn it off, you can hear you're only really hearing the room with the reverb. And what we're going to do next is we're going to work on a little bit of improvisation. Now, I think a lot of beginners are afraid of the word improvisation, but even if you are a beginner, early intermediate, you're totally fine to start working on improvisation very early on. Like I said, creativity is important, and that's a very important step. It does not have to be an advanced concept. And with a guitar like this, learning how to improvise and practicing along to jam tracks and things like that become very, very easy because it's all on board here. So what we're going to do is we are going to head over to Create. And we've got some options here. We've got loops, improvs, and respond improvs. Loops, this guitar can be a looper if you want to just like play chords and then be able to improvise over your own chord progression. That's totally cool. This allows you to do that. Then we've got improvs, which is what we're going to do. Respond improvs, if someone else uploads one of their improvisations or compositions to the app, then you can go in here and you can respond to it and you can literally jam with someone on the other side of the world. Very cool. But for our sake, we are just going to go into regular improvs here. And we get a bunch of jam tracks in these different keys. Now there are a bunch of genres that I can pick from here. And I'm gonna go with pop, and you can see it just has the key right there of what key you're gonna be improvising in. Makes it really nice and easy. And we're gonna start, let's do gravitation, because I have an idea. I kind of think I know what they're gonna go after with this. 6/8 in the key of G major. I'm gonna turn it down a bit, it's quite loud. Yeah. I think we all know what song that is. Grab my pick. All right, so the song is just playing, and now Now you may not have noticed there, but while I was improvising, that reverb was applied to the guitar stuff that I was playing as well. So pretty cool to have literally all of that stuff right at your fingertips. It comes in 4 different colorways. This one here that I have is the deep blue. All of them have this white top, and then this colored part is different. The total length of the guitar is 36 inches, and the scale length is 23.5 inches. Now, instead of being made of wood or carbon fiber, this guitar's body is made of high pressure laminate. This makes it very resilient and great in any temperature or climate. Something that I really like that they've added to the entire new series of these guitars is a place where you can adjust the truss rod. Even with these guitars that are made of less malleable materials and are much harder and more sturdy, it's still really nice to be able to adjust that to kind of find the sweet spot. This guitar also has a 3.5-inch display where you can access a whole bunch of different apps thanks to the operating system they use called High Lava 2.0. And you're going to be getting access to the entire thing, not just some stripped down version of the operating system. This is the exact same one that is in the higher end models as well. Okay, so that's going to do it for our look at the LAVAME Play. Now, price-wise, this thing comes in at $399 US. It puts it just a little bit above a lot of the typical guitars, especially acoustic guitars that are recommended to beginners. But I do think it's very important to consider that you're also getting all of these apps, access to High Lava 2.0 in a guitar like this, plus the construction and things like that. Because it's not wood, it makes it very easy to have these guitars set up very well. This thing plays very, very easily. And thanks to the added truss rod adjustment, it makes it very easy to have this guitar set up to fit you perfectly. If you're interested in learning more about the LAVAME Play, or maybe you want to pick one up for yourself or someone you know, I will have a link at the top of my description right below this video. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please also consider subscribing to the channel here on YouTube. I release a new guitar video just like this one every single week. With all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If you want to keep watching, YouTube thinks that you're going to like this video right over here. And if you want to support the channel, get some bonus videos from me, and get the official lesson notes for each video that I put out on YouTube, you can go check out my Patreon by clicking over there, or you can go below the video and become a channel member. Thanks for watching.